And welcome to the Fourth and Goal podcast. Here with Justin, or JP is what we like to call him around here. And then Andrew as well at the work facility. He's got another shift in 7 hours?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So here on a Thursday night to break down this amazing weekend of college and NFL football. Well, maybe not NFL, but at least college football that we have. Yeah, guys, I wanted to open up the show talking about the Tigers, watching that game. Give us your thoughts and analysis and what we need in Game 5.
Andrew, you go first, and I'll finish this one off.
Okay. So I thought the Tigers played a pretty damn good, just all-around game. The bullpen played really well. Starter, I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head.
Reese Olson.
Yeah, Olson played pretty well. I mean, they had the clutch hits. The bats were not on fire all day, but they were getting base runners. But I haven't talked about this a lot in the pod. I was a baseball player for a decade, so I live and breathe the little things, and the youth of this Tiger team shows.
I'm sorry, continue.
All right. Team Tiny, I guess. But it's the little things that win you games in baseball. It's the mental plays. And God, did their mental play go to the shitter down the end of that game. Sweeney in that last at-bat in the 8th inning, I don't think he got a ball in the strike zone.
No.
And he struck out.
I think he got one. I think he got one in the top left. I think.
Yeah, yeah, but they were all, every pitch he was getting was in, up, and Class A's cutter cuts in on lefties. He knows that ball looks like it's in, probably finishing a ball. Don't swing at the damn ball. Like, that's just little things in baseball. No, when you're not gonna get a strike and there's two outs and you got two guys in scoring position, you're not swinging at shit out of the strike zone. You're going to make him throw you strikes.
According to everyone on TikTok today, we apparently just don't know anything. So
right.
No, this is one thing I do know. This is
No, I mean, my take on it all is, given the circumstances, it was pretty admirable the way that the Tigers played, actually, because the Guardians were in a win-or-go-home situation. So they threw their ace, Tanner Bybee, and then a combination of Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis, and Emmanuel Clase is the best bullpen in the big leagues. The Tigers, they're young, man. They're still rolling. Obviously, you're going to have some
guy that when they call a lot of these players that are making an impact, Trey Sweeney, Colt Keith, Jackson Jobe coming in, which I know he didn't play great. My thought is they should have not put him in at the 9th inning, because even though they were able to get outs, the ball was rocketing off the barrel.
I don't think after the first base hit, he should have stayed in. He should have pulled after that.
That 2-run home run by Fry, that was actually a good move by A.J. Hinch, because Bo Brisky's had his number in this series so far. And I didn't see that coming. I thought that could have potentially been game right there.
I did think, for those baseball elitists, old heads, whatever, this was a coaching masterclass.
This has been a coaching series.
Oh, yeah, Hinch and Vaughn?
Yeah.
Vogue. Yep. Vogue. Yeah, Vogue and Hinch I thought Vogue's, yesterday we saw the downfall of him putting in the pinch hitters in the 2nd, 3rd inning. Today he saves them, saves Fry, forgetting the other one's name. I suck at names, by the way.
Yeah.
Saving them till the 8th inning. It's just a masterclass. You can't call a game any much better than either of them did.
Pinch hit he did for Torkelson when he put Winsell Perez in to get that, eventually led to the go ahead. That was really good too. AJ Hinch, he might be the best manager in the major leagues when it comes to in-game substitutions. I mean, he'll pinch hit for anybody, dude.
Right. And it doesn't matter.
And another thing,
Carpenter
might be hurt, dude.
He
left the game.
That scares me. That was a hamstring.
Yeah.
I know that messes people up. This is a terrible correlation, but in my beer league softball team, we had a guy pull his hamstring twice doing the same thing, and he's 22-year-old dog in the bases in beer league softball. So I can only, and he was in some pain then. So I can only imagine what Carpenter's going through at full speed in a MLB playoff game.
Yeah.
What a
I'd imagine it'd be
comparison.
hard to keep him off the field.
Yeah, no, I think it depends how severe it is because it looked like he was able to like walk it off like relatively cleanly.
I mean, he's got a
when he
day's
came
rest,
off the field. Yeah, he's got a day's rest. I mean, the Guardians basically threw the gauntlet at the Tigers, and they were only able to escape by one run. And the Tigers are about to throw their gauntlet and their ace in Tariq Skubal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Skubal right now is probably the best pitcher in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can allow 0 runs through 7-8 innings, however long they plan to play him in that game, I think the Tigers not using their bullpen would definitely lead to a win as long as Skubal is, the guy he's been all season.
I would like to also just we said Fry had a big pinch hit earlier in the game. He had the 2 biggest at bats of the day for the Guardians. Yeah. That squeeze bunt.
Yeah,
that was a thing of beauty.
Suicide squeeze.
It wasn't even a suicide. He got on base.
Yeah. No, I'm saying with the runner at the bases. Yeah, like that.
That was a perfect bunt, perfect call for that.
And he was saying in the post game that was the second time he bunted this year. The first time it was a double play. So, yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. All right.
Can I just derail us for 1 second? The Niners just took the ball down to the 3-yard line after getting it back after Seattle touchdown.
Okay. Did Debo do anything? That's all I care about.
It was Durendo. I needed Debo to score too, or to
run. Garendo? That's who it was?
Yeah.
Garendo is on my taxi squad in my dynasty league.
Yeah,
so.
From the 18.
It's good to say that he's getting involved in the offense.
From the 18, he took the handoff and took it to the 4.
Nice, dude. Hey, Louisville guy right there. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's ball game. I think we got the Niners winning that. So
yeah. Awesome. All right. Let's get into the college football swing of things. Number 16, Utah, traveling to Tempe, Arizona State. Utah is a 4.5-point favorite. Arizona State's been a surprise this year. I haven't watched too much Arizona State, but I did watch when they played Texas State a couple weeks ago, and I was really impressed how this offense and this team is coached by Kenny Dillingham. I think the year 1 to year 2 jump under his tenure has shown significant improvement. I mean, Sam Leavitt, he's looked like the best transfer quarterback out of all the Michigan State quarterbacks that left last year. And I mean, if this Arizona State team, they could be one of those sneaky wild cards in the Big 12 that, hey, they take 1 or 2 losses, but they beat the big teams. They could be in the Big 12 championship.
I think Sam Leavitt looks like the best quarterback to come in or leave.
Yeah,
probably. Peyton Thorne sucks.
That was 2 years ago.
I'm just in that are still in college football.
The whole college football landscape's littered with former Michigan State quarterbacks.
I mean, we got Caton Hauser at Eastern Carolina. Noah Kim, the third-string quarterback on Coastal Carolina. Peyton Thorne at Auburn. What happened to that Temple quarterback?
Rocky Lombardi last year.
Yeah. Rocky Lombardi turned into a little bit of a quarterback at NIU. I don't know if you guys ever watched NIU football.
Yeah, I seen him.
As a Mac student at one point, I had to watch him come into Kalamazoo and kick our shit in.
As a Michigan fan, how could I ever forget Rocky Lombardi or Ricky White?
Right. And Ricky White's pretty good at UNLV right now. So.
Yeah.
I just want to know, slight sidebar. How was your reaction to that game after you saw Cody White graduate the year before? See another guy wearing number 7, last name White, absolutely torch you.
I didn't know who the hell he was, to be honest with you. I had no idea until
I thought it was Cody White. I was like, wait, didn't he get drafted? What's going on?
I'm pretty sure he had like a huge game in that game, and then he went on to do like nothing.
Well, he transferred after that season.
He had legal problems at State.
Yeah.
Well, he got into a little bit of a
that seems to be just a bigger college thing. Anyways,
he got into some problems and got kicked off the team, but we're not going to talk about that.
More breakdown into this game. I'm pretty sure Isaac Wilson, Coach Whittingham for Utah came out and said that Cam Rising, they're kind of evaluating it, and if he doesn't come back by a certain point, they're just going to shut him down.
Again.
Which, in Whittingham language, is Cam Rising is dead. He's never coming back. So,
that means Cam Rising will be back on Tuesday.
Right.
He's just
we don't know. Don't.
Isaac Wilson is kind of taking over in the footsteps of his brother because he's been a turnover machine, dude. Yeah. And they got a pretty good duo with Micah Bernard and Dorian Singer if they can get him the ball. But I like you said, I like Levitt. I did watch a little bit of Arizona State to kind of prep for this. Cam Scatterbo, running back for Arizona State,
pretty good.
Who is a straight lug nut, dude. He reminds me of the kid that plays for the Chiefs.
Pacheco?
No, the white guy.
Steele.
Oh, Carson Steele.
Carson Steele, dude. This guy is physical, bro. Like, if you get in Scatterbo's way, he's running you over, dude.
Yeah. Pacheco's also the same way too.
Yeah, well, true, but I'm talking about the correlation of being white guys and whatnot. But Utah coming off that loss to Arizona, man. That's a bad loss. On the flip side, Arizona State's biggest win of the year is Kansas, so this would be their biggest win. I don't know though, man. That Levitt and Jordan Tyson combo on the outside's been pretty good. Like I said, and if Isaac Wilson continues to turn the ball over, man, this could be a breakthrough win for Arizona State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you guys covered most of it. I think it comes down to basically which offense can figure it out and get things going faster.
I also think that it depends on Arizona State's defense. Why I don't think Utah is going to score 40 because I don't think they have in God knows how long.
They don't know. They don't actually got the horses for it right now.
Actually, I'm pretty sure they scored 40 against Utah State, but that's besides the point.
Utah State.
No, but I think Utah is going to have to keep Arizona State under 23 to win this game. I think if it gets above 23, I do think that it will be impactful on how this game plays out, which is why the over-under is probably 45. But
and the game's in Tempe too, you know.
Yeah, I mean? Right. Big college town.
Not a big home field advantage, but Utah is typically a pretty tough place to play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move into Saturday. First game on the day. South Carolina versus Alabama. Alabama obviously coming off the big upset loss to Vanderbilt, which I know I made some crazy takes at the beginning of the season. But
Vandy to the natty.
But I think this is more important for South Carolina and what their future looks like with Shane Beamer and Lenora Sellers as their quarterback. How can they compete against this Alabama secondary that's been struggling all season? And I think Alabama is going to come back with some hunger and anger. They still looked good in that game. They're just DB room and their lack of discipline and execution on defense really what sold them out of that game. Vanderbilt converted a lot of third downs. They were 12 for 18 in that game. They hit a lot of big shot plays. Like, this is not the typical. This is how you win versus Bama if you're an underdog school. And I don't think it's 9 times out of 10. I don't think it happens again. But can South Carolina cover? That's, I think, the big question coming into this game.
Can they cover 22.5? I don't think so.
No, this is a revenge game for Alabama. I mean, even with a poorest Alabama secondary, Lenora Sellers in South Carolina is ranked 110 in the country in passing offense. So I don't see that being a factor. Mainly wanted to talk about this game just on the Alabama aspect and what they're going to look like coming off of a loss, because I think ultimately they're still a playoff team. Like I told you guys, I think the Vanderbilt game was kind of a one-off. Those kind of things happen, man. And Diego Pavia played out of his mind. I mean, it's a one-off thing, man. I think Alabama comes back this week, and I think they roll South Carolina. Lenora Sellers, he's not going to be ready for this moment.
Yeah, I think you're completely correct. This is just going to be Bama. They're going to get up off the mat, dust themselves off, and then roll Tide roll. Like, it's would insert all of the cliche Bama chants here. Like, they're just gonna blitz Bama blitz. Like, it's just
Blitz, Bama, blitz.
exactly. There it is.
I don't
give nothing but the Tide.
You don't care about nothing but the Tide.
Yeah, it's Jade Milroe is gonna come. Honestly, I think this is probably going to be a very high statistics game for Milroe. They're just going to try and show that was a one-off and throw everything with the kitchen sink at South Carolina.
What I'll say is, did I sound more like Papa Willie or Patrick Mahomes?
Probably Cookie Monster.
No, you sounded like Dak. Here we go.
Here we go. No.
The most annoying cadence.
Have you seen the dude on TikTok that does the Patrick Mahomes, and then every time he responds, it's in the cadence? Why'd you have a bad game? I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about Benchwarmer Brand? Yeah, he's an awesome content creator. Yeah, on the Alabama side of things, it just, like I said, that game from Vanderbilt doesn't happen in probably the next 10 years, being completely honest. And for all those NFL GMs out there, since, Diego Pavia his hero is Johnny Manziel, probably don't draft him based on that. Now, I don't know if Diego Pavia is an NFL quarterback or not, but he's a great college guy. I loved him at New Mexico State. Love him at Vandy.
Did you see him tell the reporter for SEC Network, I think it was, Nashville, let's get fucking turned up?
Yeah. Dude, no, and then he goes on ESPN and says like 3 curse words talking to Johnny Manziel too.
I also heard about him when he was at New Mexico State, that he's so crazy that he went to the rival team's field and pissed all over their field.
And pissed all over the field. And Jerry Kill's just like, I don't know what to do.
I mean, maybe I think he's just Vandy's fans just fed off him too.
Vandy needs a guy like this.
They just got that stadium, and now they need to build a new upright.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like, guys, this is why we can't have nice things.
He earned my respect.
It's at the bottom of the river now, which I love when they do that. But damn, that stadium's brand new.
One of my 80 pet teams this college football season, Vanderbilt.
Hey, that's
all right.
Diego's your godson, man.
Yeah, I think it kind of.
Or your god uncle at this point.
Yeah, god cousin, whatever. Let's move on to Cal and Pitt. Cal, obviously, blew that huge lead versus Miami, which I can't believe I stayed up till 2:40 watching that game. And then
reminisce about Pac-12 after dark.
Yeah, kinda. Oh, we have Boise State after dark. That's all we need. And then Pitt, man, they found a way to win some games in the backyard brawl a couple weeks ago. They did a good job versus West Virginia. This is a team that's just found a way to win, and Eli Holstein, the Alabama transfer, has been their guy. I like Pitt coming into this game probably more than Cal. Cal's on a 2-game losing streak between Florida State. They come off a bye, lose to Miami. I don't know where the team is at. And Pitt, this is a team that was not expected to be good. Narduzzi did not think, with the amount of guys transferring out and the amount of roster retention, there wasn't a lot of high hopes coming out of this Pitt team in the offseason. And now, they're 5-0. They're ranked. They could be competing for an ACC championship spot, which is crazy. Now, obviously, easier said than done, but this Pitt team's looked really good under Holstein. And their toughest 2-3 games are, actually, they play Syracuse, SMU, Clemson, and Louisville, and Virginia. So it's definitely a rough road from this point on, but if they can continue the way they play and just win out games, that's all they need.
Yeah. At least they got 3 of those at home.
That's true.
That's at least.
They still play at Heinz Field, right? I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
Okay. right.
It's not even Heinz Field anymore. It's changed. I don't remember what they changed.
Well, it's Heinz Field in my heart. I love ketchup.
Yeah,
I actually hate ketchup. I just wanted to say that.
my assessment on this game, if Cal could get the Fernando Mendoza that they got in the beginning of the Miami game all the way through, they probably win. You mentioned Eli Holstein coming off of a 450-yard total game against North Carolina, 12-2 touchdown interception ratio, taking care of the ball. Cal is on a 10-game losing streak to AP-ranked teams at Heinz Field. I kind of wanted to throw this game into the mix to introduce the people to Pitt a little bit because they're not really talked about a lot, and they do have a good quarterback in Holstein. They do have a good head coach. They're in a conference that's winnable, and they got some games coming
And
up.
their defense is relatively serviceable. I don't think there's anyone necessarily standing out.
No,
but I do think
defense.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the defense that's coached very well and are in the right positions and are talented enough to win ball games, which, I mean, you remember that Pitt team a couple of years ago. Obviously, Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison were the show, but, the defense still had to win football games. That is Narduzzi's focal point of, his style of coaching.
That's what got him his job there.
Yeah.
He coached top 3, top 5, 4 top 5 defenses at MSU?
Yeah, what happened to Michigan State having good defenses, bro? We actually used to be good.
Dude, for a decade, we had top 10 defenses every year.
We had the no-fly zone.
They sucked. Even from 16 to 20, they were all still top 10 defenses.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we had the no-fly zone back in the day. Oh, man.
Trey Waynes,
Darquez Bernard. Yeah, dude.
Oh, 27's going to go in the rafters, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Anyway, my take on this game.
Don't
let me reminisce. Don't let me reminisce about that.
Might have to go to a different streaming platform soon.
Right. There's an OnlyFans, guys.
Welcome to the Only White podcast.
Only 4th and goal. That's what the X stands for up top there.
Yeah.
to the go green.
Not what Twitter
podcast.
Okay.
All right. So my read on this game, let's get back into it, is basically
our lack of focus today. We need to shape it up a little bit, boys.
Nah, this is great. I'm loving it. I'm the only one in the live stream right now.
Well, we'll have people listen back, and then, they'll want to listen to us live because they'll be like and subscribe and turn those notifications on.
Mm-hmm.
We got to also realize it's still the work week. People have bedtimes, just not us, because we're built different because there's no podcast like the 4th and Goal podcast. Anyway.
Yes, all right. Third time's the charm. Let me. So I think you guys nailed all the statistical, all the things that you can actually predict about this team. But I think my biggest read is just the things that the test of time college football predictions. Cal's coming off back-to-back losses, and now one was at home. And I think now they got to go back. They were at FSU, went across the country, coming back across the country a week later. Dude, they're just going to be tired. I think Pitt just has to do enough to punch them in the face a couple times. And it's at home. And I think I think it's just Pitt. I honestly take the 3 and run away.
Yeah, my thing with Cal is in that Miami game, and credit to Miami's front 7, they actually did a pretty good job, especially in the second half of that game. Cal wasn't able to run the ball. They have one of the best running backs in the ACC in Jaden Ott. They need to get him going. The receiving core, for Cal has actually surprised me for a little bit, or has surprised me a little bit. And I think that Cal still has a good shot to win this game. It's just how do they bounce back from a terrible loss to FSU and then a heartbreaking loss to Miami?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be hard.
And you're traveling across country for all these games,
right.
Kind of where the wheels come off, boys.
That's kind of, you pick your own poison there, I guess.
I don't think they really did, though. I think the TV network.
They could have went to the Big 12.
Their own poison. They chose to go to the ACC.
Well, they kind of have to go wherever Stanford goes because it's like they're married together. You know what I mean?
Stanford, they both made the wrong choice, man.
Yeah.
All the schools that chose to leave the Pac-12 made the wrong choice.
They wanted to go to a winnable conference.
Yeah.
All right. Shit conference.
Let's move on to Penn State USC. USC gets upset by Minnesota. That game was
row the boat.
I mean, USC, bro. They kind of did everything in that game that they kind of worked on in that offseason just for it to go to shit. Gentry, their linebackers, looking like he's going to be out for this game, which he's probably one of those more impactful guys on their defense. And Penn State, I mean, this whole defense collectively, even without Kevin Winston Jr., obviously Abdul Carter's the big face of this Penn State defense, but the defense collectively has done a really good job this season. And I feel like Penn State, they had the close game versus Bowling Green, but they haven't all really honestly shown too much so far this season offensively. And I mean, you don't really have to when it's just power, counter, inside zone with your two insane running backs. But can we all
been there forever?
One thing I will say, can we talk about how even though Olufoshanu was like one of the top tackle prospects, this offensive line looks better than last season's for Penn State?
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I mean, you got a guy and you got Nick Singleton coming back this week, who's only going to make him look better, right?
All right.
Averaging 7.5 yards per carry, going against the worst rushing defense in the Big Ten, with the 8th ranked defense coming into the Coliseum. They're gonna run the ball all over USC this weekend.
I wonder if USC is going to be able, because one thing I will say that they weren't able to do last year is Woody Marks and Joyner, the running backs for USC. They've actually been able to get it going in the ground game a little bit for this team. And I'm wondering if they can catch Penn State by surprise and get a couple of shot plays in the run game just to keep them honest and open up the passing game a little bit more. Miller Moss also has to perform too.
Yeah. He's shown glimpses of greatness. He's just got to be able to.
He's shown halves of greatness. He hasn't shown a complete game, but he's got
to find a way to sit in the middle of not being terrible and keeping the ball safe, but being able to make the play and run the offense. I mean, Lincoln's an offensive genius. He's been that since he was at Oklahoma. He's just got to be competent, and he'll get you the plays to win games.
He was on Noah's Heisman ballot 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that is true. I almost said my mind. I'll be completely honest.
Okay, to be fair though, you know what? I mean,
but I also think Penn State needs to stop playing with their food.
He was number 5, to be fair.
Okay.
This game looks like, on paper to me, like looking at it from the outside, it's like, all right, Penn State's going to come in here and destroy them, but then again, they barely escaped Bowling Green. You know what I mean?
Bowling Green, they let UCLA hang around. They put them.
I think that they put away UCLA. UCLA.
I was watching the game through the fourth quarter, and UCLA kept getting
27 to what 3.
I think they hung with them late into the third quarter, right?
Yeah, 27-11. Then Penn State got a fourth quarter touchdown that sealed the game, but it wasn't. It's you're up 2 scores, a score and a half, and against UCLA, who is
UCLA's
first Power 4 school.
What I will say though, I mean, they do have a good defense at UCLA. Like their defense is still like solidly coached. It's just they don't have a pulse on offense,
except for when they play Indiana.
Well, Indiana's different. Indiana.
Let's go.
Dude, he's going to prime his pump to that team all year long.
Oh, I'm going to be screaming Cignetti's praises to the Raptors.
He will be going to the Big Ten championship if they.
There is room on the Kirk Cignetti bandwagon for all of us. Indiana.
I think they're a good team. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know how good because they haven't played.
We got Nebraska coming up.
That's true.
Nebraska stands no chance.
I wouldn't go all the way.
No chance.
But I will say I'm intrigued to see just my kind of final thought on this game. I do want to see what Penn State does in the receiving game because, I mean, Tyler Warren's obviously their best pass catching option right now. But which one of the receivers? I thought it'd be Harrison Wallace after that game versus West Virginia, but there's been really nobody that stood out in this Penn State receiving game. And I think Aller is a good enough quarterback to get the ball to his receivers. Despite what you think, Justin, I know you're a big Drew Aller hater.
Yeah.
I think he possesses a lot of talent, and I think he really hasn't been given the keys to this offense ever since he's been the starter. And I think it's kind of his problem, but I also think a big contribution to it is the receiver problem as well.
I just know that watching Drew Aller exclusively last year in multiple games, he couldn't complete a pass 20 yards or more downfield.
Right. He's got a rocket arm, but it's not accurate.
Yeah. Like he kind of reminds me of Ryan Mallett when he was at Michigan before he transferred to Arkansas. Like same stature, same arm, everything, you know what I mean?
What year was this?
Maybe it'll come together. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I think you probably. I don't know, man. When were you born again?
Do a postseason.
2005. I was born in 2000.
Oh, you were 2. My bad. Okay.
Let's do a preseason.
My college football knowledge was tremendous at 2.
I figured you were on it, dude. Coming right out.
No, it actually took me a little bit to like college football. I would say like in terms of recent quarterbacks, I'd say Joe Milton probably, just in terms of having a rocket arm, being mobile, but not being able to be accurate. I think that's probably the best comparison I could give.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm catering to the older listeners then when I say that.
To the unks out there.
I mean, he's only like, he's got to be early 30s. He actually just recently passed away. He was in the NFL for a while, but
R.I.P.
When I look at Drew Aller, that's who I think of. Maybe look him up.
Okay, I'll be watching some Ryan Mallett highlights tomorrow. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the Red River rivalry. Hook 'em down, as Oklahoma fans would say. Hook 'em horns, as Texas fans would say. In Jerry World, Texas a 14-point favorite in this game. I think if Texas gets to 21, they win, man. I don't think there's any other sugarcoating to it. It's just that's really how it is. I think Oklahoma's offense is not good. Texas's offense has been pretty darn good this whole season. And Oklahoma, are they going to throw Arnold back into the mix if Hawkins struggles? Like Deion Burks, he's looking improbable for this game. What other receivers can step up? Can the offensive line get it going? I mean, there's just so much variables for Oklahoma to be in questions that Oklahoma needs to answer right now. And we don't know. We don't know anything about this Oklahoma team. Their defense is kind of the only thing we know. But like I said, if Texas gets to 21, this game's over.
Pardon my not knowing this, but why is this game not in why?
It's at the Cotton Bowl I think it's
Cotton Bowl every year.
Yeah, it's just a neutral site game every single year.
Why the hell is this neutral site?
It's Red River rivalry, bro.
I'm pretty sure the Texas State Fair is going on that weekend too. Like it's like a whole big thing.
Put it at the campuses.
I think Florida and Georgia.
Yeah, they play at Jacksonville.
Yeah,
they've always done that.
Right. This game's always been like this.
Okay, I guess I just hate that. I would much rather a big rivalry be at the campuses.
I think it should be at the what's their stadium? God dang it! Never mind. Forget what I was going to say.
Either way, I think Ewers is coming back this weekend. So my biggest question is against an Oklahoma defense that we are all very high on. If Ewers struggles, how long is his leash? I know they said this is his team, but if Ewers struggles this weekend, how long is his leash before they go put Manning in?
No.
It's just the thought.
Manning, I mean, he looked good against Yale Monroe, but against Mississippi State, bro, he wasn't like particularly great.
Right. I like Ewers way more than Manning, but it's just the thought of how long do the fans give Ewers if he's not?
Bro, Ewers has looked good this year. Last year, I know last year he lost against Oklahoma with the interception. Bless you.
Sorry.
I know last year he lost with the interceptions in the game, but I think he almost willed them to a comeback. There's a nice dice roll right there.
Did you win?
That's us on the golf course.
We got to get Justin out golf. Hey,
Golf
in the,
episode coming
in the comments, and Justin, edit this for social media.
That's going on
Would
TikTok.
Should we do a golf episode of us three in the near future? Maybe not this fall, unless we can get it onto a course at some point with our busy schedules, but definitely next spring and summer.
Yes.
That was my response to Andrew's question about Quinn Ewers.
Oh my god!
No, Quinn Ewers he's the guy, bro. Like, I think less than 3 games he played 2.5 games before he got hurt.
He was top. He was a Heisman, top Heisman guy before he got hurt.
8 total touchdowns in 2.5 games.
I think he could be still a Heisman guy if he continues to perform well.
Right.
Like, I know, not winning it, but he can be in New York.
Yeah, I'm just the question to be the devil's advocate here, though. Like,
no, I think the Arch Manning thing is just he's
you
a big
are
name.
Andrew, what you are doing is what is wrong with college football with this stupid, let's play the young quarterback because, he doesn't need to develop on the bench and learn the playbook or anything. Just throw him out there.
No Tommy Schuster at quarterback.
Oh, my God. Well, Tommy Schuster is like 80.
Dude,
so.
We are becoming the home of the hot takes. Like, we're fighting for our lives out here on TikTok.
Yeah, and then we just lost the whole entire Ohio State fan base.
But oh yeah, they hate us for sure.
Because
Wolverine.
Kyle McCord is. I'm sorry, he is the better quarterback objectively this year.
All but 2 of their losses in Big Ten play have come to our 2 fan bases.
Right.
Like, since
we're going off the
15
rail.
years.
Let's talk about this game though. Red rivalry.
The red
Did it pretty good.
The red rivalry. You know that Oklahoma's
big
actually
red
won.
dog coming out.
Yeah. Stay tuned. I got another one cooking.
No, I do think in terms of game, like I said, I think if Texas gets to 21, this offense has been pretty good this year, even with Quinn Ewers being out. They performed well against Michigan. The defense has also performed very well this season as well, with guys like Berg and Hill on the defensive line. I do like this Texas team, man. I think they are obviously the number 1 team in the country right now. And I don't really care what the Oregon-Ohio State result's going to be. I'd still put Texas at 1. I'm not going to overrate it. Unless I see something super convincing or Will Howard does become the greatest quarterback of all time.
No, or Dylan Gabriel throws for 400 yards.
I will say, Gabriel has looked better than I thought he would this year in terms of letting it loose and throwing it deep a little bit more.
Hallelujah, he's growing.
Yeah. It only took him 5 years.
I know, you. not Gabriel. I knew Gabriel was good. You're growing.
I wouldn't say he's good. I say he's better than what my expectations were. But we'll get it. We'll get it.
Quarterback's good. First Jared Goff, now Gabriel.
Well, we'll get into that too. No, but actually, that's a great conversation point for later. But no, I think Texas is going to come out of this game the winner convincingly. I think they should. I know it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen, but I'm confident.
Dude, if you look at Oklahoma against Tennessee, though, they're one decent quarterback and decent offensive line play away from.
But that's what I'm saying. They're one decent offensive line, one decent quarterback, one decent receiver. Most teams are going to be good if they have that. You could say the same damn thing about Michigan. They had a good quarterback.
Well, no.
They had a receiver, someone who had hands that can catch a football, and someone with throw it.
I'm just saying, there's so much problems with this Oklahoma offense that hasn't really been addressed. And despite what people think, I think Arnold is going to be in the transfer portal and be good somewhere else next year. But
look at the red rivalry 3 years ago. When we thought,
Caleb Williams, dude.
Oklahoma's dead. You know what I mean? Spencer Rattler gets benched. Here comes Caleb Williams. Here comes Michael Hawkins, dude. I don't know. Oklahoma has won 5 of the last 6 red rivalry shootouts.
Well, Texas has been dead for the last
4 of them, yeah.
But Texas is beating teams by an average of 20 points. They're just straight steamrolling.
Yeah,
a team bag the last 4 2 years.
Yeah.
to be fair, I think Oklahoma's kind of comparable to Michigan. I think Michigan's offense is worse. But well,
yeah.
in terms of just like, versatility, but I think this is just going to be that same type of game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the bigger and better Big 12 conference. BYU hosting Arizona. Fafita, he's been underwhelming this season. BYU is one of those teams that has kind of surprised us, not starting in the AP top 25, and they've just continued to win games and keep on battling. What are our expectations out of this game? Because I think I have more to say. I'll be honest, other than the Kansas State game and some of that Baylor game, I haven't watched too much BYU this season, but I've been tuned into Arizona this year, and I got some stuff to say, but I'll let you guys hit it first.
Yeah, I think you hit on it. Fafita, Arizona's offense as a whole has been kind of underwhelming. They really haven't found anybody to get the ball to besides McMillan on a consistent basis, and I really like that Jake Retzloff kid for BYU. He's looked like a pretty good quarterback, and they're just always tough, man. It's something about those Mormon kids from what is that, Provo, Utah out there,
Yep,
man?
Provo, Utah. I had a dynasty
Yeah,
with them back in the day. They were legit.
And obviously I had a chance to watch them because that Kansas State game really screwed me on the last leg of that parlay.
Yeah.
And they're tough, dude. Like I wouldn't be surprised if BYU is kind of a dark horse in the Big 12.
I agree. I think Retzlaff is kind of an interesting BYU in general. Just that entire they really only have two receivers. They're really only getting it to Lassiter and Roberts. Everyone else is kind of chugging along with under double-digit receptions so far. But dude, their running game, they're getting the ball to everybody.
Retzlaff is their leading rusher.
He is their leading rusher. They've got 3, 6, 7. They've got 7 guys with over double-digit carries.
Yeah, but Retzlaff is definitely the guy.
Yeah. I haven't watched a lot of Brigham Young. Are they just running the option? Like, is that just what's happening?
No, they've been freaking slinging it.
They're airing it out, dude.
It's what they've been doing.
I haven't watched them, so I was just like, what is happening? Why is
I think they're what I'll say is I think they're very kind of like Pitt. Just like when the opportunity arises in these close games, they're just on the right side every single time. They're just finding ways to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, especially for a team like BYU. But I think with this Arizona team, I mean, Tatoria McMillan, yes, is he going to be a first-round receiver? Of course. He's been amazing. But outside of that, and I mean, Quali Conley's been okay for this team. But, dude, Fafita, I didn't think he was going to be necessarily an NFL quarterback. But if he had any dreams of that, that's getting shot down. And I think what it is that Jed Fish didn't get enough credit for when he was at Arizona. Because keep in mind that Arizona team in his first season, I'm pretty sure was 1-11, like not good. And then, it's tough. Brett Brennan's not going to be able to keep everyone on this team. It's hard. They did have a lot of transfer portal exodus. Like that wasn't a big storyline. A lot of guys went to Washington. A lot of guys went to other places. Morgan went to the draft, one of their stud offensive linemen. They had a lot of exodus on this team, but they kept Fafita and McMillan, so they're just going to be just fine. But I mean, football is an all-22 game, not a all-2 game. So,
I mean, it's the same thing at Colorado State. People were like, "Oh, they kept the QB and receiver combo." What's that going for you?
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think Fowler, Koldnicki, or whatever stupid, or Fowler Nicolosi, not Koldnicki. Fowler Nicolosi I don't think he deserved $100,000, but that's my personal opinion.
Yeah,
they could have paid Matthew Saluka. Anyways, and top 15 matchup in the SEC. This one, I think, was a combined 100 points, over 100 points last year. It was a nice showdown between Jaden Daniels and Jackson Dart. Bet the over because, maybe bet the over. Ole Miss's defense is legit.
I was going to say Ole Miss's defense is better than people talk about.
It's the LSU offense with my godson, Jaden Daniels.
Okay, well,
Garrett
Garrett Nussmeier's a
good.
good quarterback.
Yeah, he's pretty good, dude.
Jaden Daniels.
No, I mean nobody's gonna live up to Jaden Daniels for you. I know we get that.
I think in terms of throwing, I would probably take Nussmeier in college. I'll keep this in mind. In college, I'd probably take Nussmeier over Daniels, but in terms of all-around impact at the quarterback position, yeah, I'd take Jaden Daniels.
Here goes another post.
Oh my gosh.
Nussmeier versus Daniels, dude.
Dude, Nussmeier's been like one of the best throwing quarterbacks in college football this season.
Dude, we're gonna just piss off every fan base in college.
Oh yeah. No, this is this game here, dude, is quarterback delight. Like the over/under obviously is at 62. Trey Harris for Ole Miss, probably the Biletnikoff Award.
Well, he is questionable.
Right now.
He is questionable coming into this game.
Yeah, Ole Miss is going to need him because LSU kind of has some. I like Kyron Lacey. I think he's pretty good. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's a lot to live under when you got Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, and then you got Malik Neighbors. You know what I mean? But I think
oh my gosh,
Kyron Lacey's pretty good.
Trey Harris had 52 receptions this season. What the hell?
Yeah, Trey Harris halfway through the year is already putting up like end of the season numbers, dude. He's ridiculous.
The dude's almost at 1,000 yards.
No, I knew Trey Harris. I mean, and this whole receiving room, they had Antoine Wells come in from South Carolina, Jordan Watkins, Caden Priestcorn. Like, this is a good receiving core. Jackson Dart, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Justin, but I wanted to get this off my chest. Jackson Dart did not look right in that South Carolina game last week. He looked like he didn't look the quarterback like he was the previous weeks coming into the season. He didn't throw for a touchdown. The only receiver he was able to have any connection with was Trey Harris. It didn't look like the Jackson Dart that, we thought coming into this year.
I don't know, man. I think
he missed. I still think I'm saying he did not, like, if you watch the South Carolina Ole Miss game, Dart could have had like 500 yards if his deep balls were placed right. And they just weren't. And those are plays that he's hit on all season.
And that's where I mentioned Ole Miss's defense, where they showed up in that game, because where the offense kind of did struggle a little bit, that defense is pretty good. Above average, I'll say.
Yeah, and this is
one-phase team.
I think Ole Miss is kind of just like, in Florida State, you're going to do by the portal and you're going to die by the portal. And they're doing by the portal this season so far. I mean, Walter Nolan, Chris Paul Jr. from Arkansas, Trey Amos from Alabama. Like, dude, this is a pretty good defense, and key positional players on the defensive side that Ole Miss, acquired in the transfer portal. Now, can they do this every year? No, I don't think so. I don't think Ole Miss is going to be one of those window teams. I don't think they're necessarily going to be a top contender every single season. But what do I know? Apparently Lane Kiffin's on the hot seat, so he might not even be there after this
year. He's so straight-faced, right?
I mean, the Kentucky loss looked pretty bad. Dart didn't look like that whole offense really didn't look amazing in that game either. So I think it would be nice to see, the offense just get going against this terrible LSU defense.
Got any comments, Andrew? Or
that's too bad.
For the clip, just put a blur.
No, we're full R-rated over here, baby.
All right. Oh, okay.
No, I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put you rising your finger up like that, and then I'm gonna edit me shitting my pants coming in right after it.
Why you should watch.
That'd be the highlight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The 4th and Goal podcast.
Oh shit, dude!
There ain't no podcast. Goal podcast.
Like and
subscribe and go fuck yourself.
Be the middle finger.
Oh man.
Okay, we are. Any final thoughts on this game?
That was a mic check, by the way.
Good. Covered it.
No, I think it's going to be a heavy scoring game. This one's at Death Valley. What's the time on this game again? Is this a night game?
I think this is a night game. Yeah, I think it's 7:30 in Death Valley. So.
Ooh.
It's also
Ooh.
I heard a stat, dude, in like the last like I think 10 years, there's only been like 5 losses in Death. This is not the direct stat, so don't quote me, but like it is like impossible to win at Death Valley at night.
Well, if you're telling me that Trey Harris is questionable coming into the game and Ole Miss goes in without Trey Harris, I think that's a big difference. I might give the nod to LSU at that point.
My thing is that can Ole Miss run the damn ball? Because that's something that hasn't been able to. It's not been shown. I know Ulysses Bentley hasn't really been playing for them. It's been Parrish taking their running back 1 snaps, but they have not been able to really run the ball that well. Yeah, I don't know. I also don't know how much this Ole Miss secondary has been tested either, and I think it could between Aaron Harrison, Kyron Lacey, and Garrett Nussmeier. I think it could get tested.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and if they're not on the hot, if Lane Kiffin isn't on the hot seat now, he will be after this game.
All right, let's move on to something positive for Andrew and one of those good takes. Dylan Gabriel in Ohio State, or not Ohio, actually I worded that completely wrong. Dylan Gabriel and the Oregon Ducks hosting the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State a 3-point favorite in this game. Ohio State and Oregon really haven't shown anything in terms of scheme so far this year. It's been really boring to watch them play offense, especially in the second half. If you're still tuned in at that point, I was for both of these games. Well, when they played Michigan State, but that's besides the point. This game can go so many different ways in my head. One, I don't know how much it is these QBs actually performing all that well, but I say if there is going to be a QB to perform better, I will say I'll give the nod to Dylan Gabriel. I actually think him in this receiving core can come into a little bit of fruition in this game. I know Tez Johnson's been their only impressive guy, but if Evan Stewart is healthy for this game, I think this could be his big breakout game, because we remember him coming out of high school and him at Texas A&M. While that team didn't have too many bright spots, dude, that kid was still a highlight reel waiting to show on all these sports shows, no matter what he did. Like this kid, he was legit. But Ohio State's defense is really good, and Oregon's defense has been solid so far this year. Oregon's offensive line has improved so far throughout the season, especially in their run game with Jordan James. But at the same time, Ohio State's off. Like there is just so much stuff, and both these teams also haven't played any competition. Like, well, other than Boise State, of course, but that's really just a one-man team.
Can you play tag with Ashton Jeanty?
Yeah. No, I think. I'm excited to see what both these teams do, if I'm being completely honest. I want to see how this matches up. And this, even if I watch this game live, this is a game that I'm going to go back and watch too, just to really get a full all 22, all 60, feel for this game.
I am curious, especially for Oregon. They had last week was, I think Gabriel has done 1 pick so far in the year, and he's getting praised up and down about how accurate he's been and how he doesn't make mistakes. Well, he played a halfway decent Michigan State defense, and they got.
Hey, they might have the number. They talk about Denzel Burke. They talk about Will Johnson. They might have the best corner in the Big Ten in Charles Brantley.
He might be the best hitting corner in the Big Ten.
Well, he's been a pretty good ball hawk this season.
Lays good, let me tell you, but
he does.
It's not. You know what I meant. But I honestly. Get in Oregon's face a little bit. Make Gabriel make mistakes. Like one of his picks was a completely. No matter if he throws that ball 10 times, the Spartans coming down with it.
All right.
And one of them was another just a crazy play by a safety. But
he let it rip a little bit more against Michigan State compared to what he's normally been in his career.
He tried to test Michigan State, which I think definitely not what happened.
I think
what I heard the noise on the outside that they don't throw the ball. They don't have an offense enough to match with some people, and they threw it actually competent Michigan State defense and coughed it up a couple times. But if you do that against Ohio State, they're making you play at least 1 or 2 more times.
Justin,
bring off those and not fumbling too.
What are your thoughts, Justin?
I think for me, it's whatever team makes the other team's quarterback least comfortable. Like if Jordan Birch and Oregon's off defensive line can get after Ohio State, they have a shot to win. If JT, Jack Sawyer, and Tyreek Williams can get after Dylan Gabriel, then they're going to win the game. Ultimately, I think that's what it's going to boil down to. Everybody talks about the skilled players and the quarterbacks and whatnot, but I think it's going to be whatever team's defensive line gets the most pressure on each quarterback. And this is game one of the season. I mean, like you said, Oregon played Boise State. That's a one-man team. Ohio State essentially hasn't played anybody and hasn't had to play a full four-quarter game this season. No disrespect to Michigan State, but
no, that was a nice 2-quarter game. I mean, they had a nice 1 quarter. Marshall put up a nice 1-quarter game against them.
So did Western.
Yeah. I think Ohio State, their defensive line has potential to be elite. And I think that Dylan Gabriel is going to be really uncomfortable. I mean, he's already a small guy. Those passing lanes are going to be clogged up. Obviously, Oregon's going to scheme something to get him out in the perimeter and whatever they do to get their offense going. But Ohio State's tough, man.
I think if Oregon wants to win this game, they got to find a way to hit explosive plays more than at a higher rate than Ohio State does, right? Because I think if this is a slow, sluggish game, I think Ohio State has the bodies on offense and defense in the trenches. I think they have an advantage over Oregon in this game. And so Oregon's got to find a way to get their playmakers in space and kind of get lucky. Now, I'm not saying Oregon's a bad team, but if you want to beat this Ohio State team, how they are on defense and then just how kind of methodical and boring they are on offense in terms of like how they play 90% of their plays. And then you see, and Emeka Egbuka makes an amazing catch. And then Jeremiah Smith. But if you actually watch like Ohio State drives, I mean, it's kind of like comparable to Michigan last year, just in terms of just trying to ground and pound and taking the short stuff in the passing game for the most part. Like Will Howard's not going to be able. If Will Howard is forced to throw the ball in this game more than 15 yards downfield, they're screwed. I'm sorry. Like on a consistent basis where they got to keep going play after play and play a little bit of catch up. That's really my big problem with Will Howard. He's great if you guys are winning, but if you got to have him will come back, good luck. That's
right.
That's all.
We're gonna get flamed again, but it's okay.
What'd you say?
I said we're gonna get flamed again, but it's okay.
You know what? That's fine. If you know what, if Will Howard manages like a 21-point comeback, I will buy a Will Howard jersey and be his biggest fan.
Here you go.
We should do that.
Noah.
Yep.
Let's do a jersey bet.
Okay.
If Oregon wins, you gotta buy me a Dylan Gabriel jersey. And if Ohio State wins,
I don't want to Will Howard. No.
It's not even a win for him. He doesn't want to wear this jersey.
No, absolutely not.
Hey, if Ohio State,
I'll put this up here.
No. Let me do one for you.
Okay.
If Ohio State wins the national championship with Will Howard as their quarterback, then you have to wear a Will Howard jersey. Bought by us. Me and Andrew can probably split the cost. We got some time to prepare. And you got to wear it for 24 hours, and we're going to post it all over TikTok and make videos. And
we'll follow you around for 24 hours as you wear this.
Fair?
Well,
dude, we'll hop in the back of that blue truck.
If he passes for more than 250 yards on more than 8 yards per attempt in the national championship game, I'll do it.
No, they just have to win.
That's bullshit because the other 21 players on their team are amazing. He's just not that good. You know what? Fine. Whatever. I'll do it. I don't care.
Okay, good.
I think Ohio State's still like the second best team in the country, but you know, I don't think they have a winning.
It'll make good content.
No. All right.
He's not doing. He's doing it for the pod.
Do it for the pod, fine, bro.
All right. How about this? If Colorado makes the college football playoff, you gotta buy Deion merch, a bucket hat and his sunglasses.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
Because all I hear is, Deion sucks. Deion ain't shit, bro. He should be fired. And you know what? They've been 4-1 this season. I know their schedule hasn't been great. They got cooked by Nebraska, but as of late, dude, I mean, I thought UCF was going to be able to ground and pound them, and dude, Colorado beat them by 27. Like that's not the Colorado team that we anticipated coming into this season. Now, I think Kansas State is better objectively. Kansas State has had like one bad game this year, and other than that, I honestly say they've been like pretty darn good. Yeah, I mean, darn good, Dion. I get the reference. Yeah, I don't know. I think honestly, in the grand scheme of things, Kansas State's just got the playmakers in the backfield in Giddens and Johnson that kind of make Colorado's defense a nightmare. But also at the same time, Colorado's kind of been able to run the ball, and I think Kansas State's going to have to prep for that a little bit more than they wanted to coming into this game.
Yeah, you kind of said it. I mean, Colorado held UCF to 177 yards rushing, I think 200 yards under their normal average, and Colorado got 5 sacks. I think Nakai Hill-Green in the middle for Colorado has kind of helped them out with that defense, kind of a veteran presence back there. But they're going up against a different animal this week, a different kind of rushing attack with Giddens and Johnson. I mean, as a duo, are averaging 7 yards a carry, pretty explosive. And Johnson was able to have 3 touchdown passes against Oklahoma State. So he can actually move the ball through the air, which is a different added element. KJ Jefferson, kind of not that guy.
Yeah. I mean, go Andrew. I'll save it.
Colorado, it really comes down to if the team that we've been seeing from Colorado if they played another game since the
I think they had a bye last week. So
if the team we saw against CF is the team Colorado is, I think we might be in for a ball game against Kansas State this weekend. But Kansas State's physical. Avery Johnson's gonna make you make decisions, and it's gonna be up to how actually mentally tough Colorado's defensive line and their linebackers especially are going to be. Do they have Shiloh back? Do we know that?
Yes, they do. But their defense has been better without Shiloh.
Yes. I think if Shiloh's back,
you want to hear my advice for this game? Bet the over.
I agree because, it's Travis Hunter's going to score another touchdown.
I think if Colorado's defense collapses, I mean, Kansas State's going to score 42, 49.
No, it's going to be a boat race. Colorado, okay, we're just going to play offense. Backyard football. And K-State's going to dominate.
K-State also hasn't really been that good defensively this season.
This could be actually an underrated game on what I think is actually a better slate of games this week than we've had in the last couple of weeks to talk about. Like I think we had 9-10 games to talk about this week. Like,
I mean, and it's all like, I mean, obviously we got a little bit off topic, but I'm
sorry.
No, I mean, it's great stuff. It embraces our personality a little bit, but I'm thinking just terms of like, I mean, last week was a pretty good week too, in terms of it being trap week. But like, I think coming into this weekend, and it could be very disappointing. All these games could be blowouts, and we could all be wrong. Just how it goes sometimes. But I think this is a good week. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff. People have been circling this weekend for a while now. But I think I want to say it's either next weekend or in 2 weeks. It's also going to be a really good slate of games as well.
It'd probably be next weekend when I got a soccer triple header.
Yeah, probably.
Next week at the guard. It's gonna be great.
We have our upset picks of the week.
Yeah.
All right.
Andrew, you want to go first?
No,
my game moved. I'm gonna pick a new game.
Justin, fire away while Andrew.
Okay, so so we kind of changed the rules in this. You have to be a 5.5 point underdog or better. I think I got away with it, and I think Noah might have got away with it earlier in the year, but we're not going to go back and vacate the win.
You know what? Sometimes you just gotta adapt.
Got to roll with it. So So moving forward here now, our upset picks of the week are -5.5 underdogs or better. It makes it a little bit tougher. So this week, I'm going to go with North Carolina -5.5 underdog at Georgia Tech. North Carolina, Marion Hampton, maybe the best running back in the country, not named Ashton Denty.
I hate that so
Yeah,
much.
don't do that. So North Carolina kind of took Pitt down to the wire. Jacoby Criswell, pretty good quarterback for North Carolina. Georgia Tech probably could be easily 6-0 this year, but they've shot themselves in the foot, whether it be penalties or turnovers this year. That's why I like North Carolina, man. I think they're going to run the ball effectively, and I think Criswell is going to be able to hit on some big plays, and I like North Carolina to get the upset at Georgia Tech.
Andrew, do you have your game?
Yes, I do.
All right, fire away.
Down earlier, but I found it and I like it. Utah is going to Tempe, Arizona to play Arizona State. Utah is a 5.5 point favorite, so I'm just scraping by. But honestly, I think Arizona State's playing pretty well. Levitt's been playing surprisingly well as coming in as a transfer out in Tempe, and no Cam Rising, and why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? QB
Isaac Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson's kind of been a turnover machine, and a couple turnovers here and there, and Arizona State could be in. And I think at home, it's hot as hell there. So
I visited there in February last year, like the Phoenix area. I know it was like 70 something, 80 something degrees still.
I just want to check what time this game is. It's 10:30 p.m.
10:30 on a Friday. So
yeah, but that's still hot. Like I remember when MSU went out there and it was 10:30 and it was still 100 degrees on the field.
Right.
Like it's tough to go into Tempe and win.
So you like Arizona State to give Utah back-to-back losses?
Yes.
Okay.
There goes my Utah to win the Big 12, but it's okay.
Things are subject to change. Just like me in Colorado.
Yeah. Things are always changing. And another thing, I'm picking against Louisville because I think Virginia is going to actually come out.
Things are subject to change.
You know what? Louisville's just been a really sloppy team, and Virginia is one of those teams that they've been able to run the ball pretty well. Calandria is able to hit the big, deep plays. He does turn the ball over a little bit more than I like, but I still think he's a better quarterback, and I'm glad they're not doing the Tony Muskett experience anymore over there. I mean, this team's quietly been pretty good in the ACC so far. I know Andrew picked Coastal Carolina to upset Virginia a couple weeks ago, and dude, I mean, that just got completely shot in the water. So
I went with my gut, man. Okay.
Now, Virginia's schedule hasn't been necessarily impressive. They did take a loss to Maryland, but I think as of recent, their wins versus Coastal and Boston College, Louisville being a team that I think they could have beat SMU, and I still think they could have beat Notre Dame, but they just haven't been able to win games when they're close because of the mistakes and turnovers that they have. I think this is just going to be another one of those weeks where Virginia is able to play, relatively competent, dominate on the ground. And I mean, Louisville's defense has not been the defense I was expecting coming into this season.
You would never see me say these things about Indiana.
No. Hey, man.
Not yet.
Things change on the fly.
It's okay.
All right.
I'll protect you. I will be
So program director Justin Pollington said there's only 2 NFL games worthy of talking about. So let's get to them relatively quickly.
Sounds about right.
The Commanders and Ravens. The old running back quarterback versus the new running back quarterback. Yeah, I don't know. Commanders have been a huge surprise this season, and your take just looks better and better each week, and he might end up winning. This is going to be like this MVP race game, believe it or not.
Yeah, we got to let Andrew shoot first because he's the Jaden Daniels resident wiener jockey around here.
Hey, I got 2 things I stand for, and it's Indiana football and Jaden Daniels, okay?
Well,
and I will not stand for slander of either. Most of my other takes have fallen flat on their face. Those 2 stand up, though.
I mean, you know what? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
You hear me say a bunch of shit, and sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong.
In the lost episode, I did say that the Commanders were my dark horse to win the NFC East.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was a thing. But honestly, this game, I'm kind of. What's even the spread? Let me look at that. Spread 2.5. And
Go ahead.
The Ravens are. I get what their record shows, but they're better than their record shows. So many teams have just been dropping games that you don't understand. But the Ravens we've seen the last 2 weeks when they went and played the Bills and why am I forgetting?
Bengals.
And the offense was just clicking on all cylinders.
How about Rashad Bateman finally, not looking like a complete bum?
Right. Mark Andrews got his head out of his ass too.
Baltimore's definitely been a good football team. And you play the Chiefs week 1 and it comes down to a foot, and then it's just a stinker against the Raiders that you probably want to have that game back.
Yeah.
But
the stinker but they've turned it around since then. Even the Cowboys game, while that was close, that was not bad. And the Commanders
stink.
They do. Well, the Commanders are very young. They're having fun playing football. Terry McLaurin smiled for the first time in what feels like a decade. Jane Daniels is quite literally one of the most accurate passers in football right now, college or NFL wise. He set the record through 4 games. The first 4 games in the 82% completion.
Yeah, I did not being completely honest. Going back and listening to that take, my thing was he was not this type of thrower in college whatsoever. His senior season, he did show a lot more glimpses of it, but you watch his first year at LSU, bro, like this whole transformation of him as a player, like congrats to him. I didn't know at 25 or however old he is.
So there's actually a thing. There's a thing we can correlate to what made him a better passer, and it's they got VR for him to practice with. So he practices watching their simulated plays and simulated defensive plays.
I think he started that at LSU, though.
Started it his senior year at LSU. They brought in the same company at Washington, and that's how he watches film. He's not watching all 22. He's watching from the
That's awesome. And you know what? If it leads to success, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's gonna be copycat. Everybody's going to be doing it.
But I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't know.
No.
It might work. I think it's also because, he's not a guy that's going to stay in the pocket all the time. I think it helps him a lot from his point of view, because he's not just really in 1 or 2 places, inside. Like he gets out and gets going.
This might be an too early take, but I think he is everything the Ravens wanted Lamar to be.
Lamar's been a 2-time MVP.
Yeah.
I know.
Early, dude.
You do not let me finish my takes ever. Let me finish my take, God damn it.
Okay, say it.
So he's had 2 seasons when he was an actual competent quarterback, not just a running back that throws the ball 15 times a game. He's had 2, and both of those seasons he won the MVP. Yes, because he can run the ball and he was a halfway decent passer. He is not a great passer from the pocket or on the run. Jaden Daniels is a better passer from the pocket and on the run. He's not quite as fast, but I think that is the give and take, and he is what Ravens fans were expecting. They love Lamar. Lamar is a fantastic quarterback, but Jaden Daniels is just the superior passer to Lamar's superior runner, but they both do both pretty damn well. That is my take.
I will say, I don't disagree. I don't necessarily disagree with you. Have the Ravens ever had a better pass catching option than Terry McLaurin in terms of receiver?
Yes, Hollywood Brown.
Been a while, dude.
Mark Andrews.
I would say Terry McLaurin's better than Hollywood Brown.
They had Odell Beckham Jr. at one point.
That doesn't count. But Mark, I'm saying in terms of a receiver that can create separation deep and do it at all levels. The thing that comes to mind to me, I know Hollywood Brown was relatively good in Baltimore, but the only receiver on that team now is Zay Flowers, maybe. but I mean, he's not really getting open deep because he's 5'9".
I mean,
So-
Ibrahim is their leading receiver.
Mo Ibrahim
No, Abdul Fatai Ibrahim
for the
for the
Ravens.
Ravens.
That's what I mean, bro. Some
He's got
fucking
1,000 yards receiving. OJ Hilaire has 918.
huh?
Yeah.
Let me look at this.
Wait, am I looking at the right year? Yeah, this is
No,
the-
what the? Yeah, there was some
What is this? I've never heard of any of these people. Now that you're saying this,
Yeah. Oh, this is.
why is
Bro, this
ESPN
is glitch, dude.
ESPN's
Who the hell is Agil Glass, bro?
Agil
What?
Glass? You don't know who that is?
No. Okay. Anyways, so ESPN is
I
glitch.
take that back entirely. I was like, why have I not heard of Ibrahim? And why not?
No. Dude, what team is this, bro? Anyways, no, the leading receiver is Zay Flowers with 269 yards.
Flowers ain't a bad receiver either.
No, I think, but he ain't Terry McLaurin.
Someone
Terry
bet-
McLaurin's played with as many quarterbacks. You can count the years that you've been alive, and that's how many quarterbacks he's played with in Washington.
Yeah. And look at him. He has a good quarterback, dude, and he's succeeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys got any thoughts on the game, though?
Not
You know,
really.
I did. I said it.
I heard you. No, and you ain't got nothing on it?
Not too much. The Ravens, how much can they contain Jane Daniels and give him problems? I mean, it's still a very good, well-coached and talented defense. So I'm excited to see what they can do.
I think
Both
This
ways,
is-
honestly.
Yeah,
this
no,
is Jaden Daniels' biggest road test to date at Baltimore. He's actually doing things that not only rookies haven't done, but quarterbacks in general, which is a surprise to me. I don't think that the Commanders are where they are without Jaden Daniels. If they were able to somehow pull this win off against the Ravens, I think that puts Jaden Daniels in the MVP category,
Is
my opinion. But I don't think they're going to win. I think the Ravens win.
yeah, Jaden Daniels, I think we're all in agreement, is better than CJ was last year, right?
Yeah, Baltimore at home is just different. It's different.
I get
yeah, and right now,
full season of work, but
yeah, I'd say right now, yeah, I'd agree. And then final game, Lions Cowboys, two overglorified quarterbacks that get paid too much. No,
do you
There we
want to
go.
get toasted? We already put you in your place once today.
Yeah.
no, I'm okay. I really don't think. I'll be completely honest. I don't really think Dak's that good of a quarterback and hasn't been the same quarterback since that ankle injury he had.
Yeah.
That season, he was really damn good. But since then, I mean, like, he's been all right. But, I mean, he also throws the ball like 50 times a game, too. So,
It happens when you got a fat Ezekiel Elliott as your
yeah, it is also very true.
line compared to what they've had.
Man, my main thing in this game is I want to see, an improvement from this Detroit Lions defense. The offense has been, pretty good the last couple of weeks. And the thing that I just like watching, I'm just like, man, this defense could be better. So if we can relatively hold, CD's not hurt, is he? I'm not crazy.
No.
Okay.
I
But yeah, I think if we can maintain CD and just, and it's not going to be hard because once again, I mean, Rico Dowdle is Dallas's number one running back right now.
yeah.
Like, I don't think it's going to be hard for them to contain this run game, but I want to see, some improvement in the secondary so far compared to what it's been this season.
Specifically, I really want to see if Arnold can keep his hands to himself.
Who?
Arnold.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
dude, but if you watched him at Alabama, bro, he was pressing everybody.
Oh, yeah. He's got to learn, though, he's not at Bama anymore. This is the NFL where they call that.
Well, not just that, they're also way more talented receivers.
Oh, 100%. But, I think this defense is better than what they've been showing. but quite literally, it's been Arnold shooting them in the foot every drive.
I don't think the secondary.
Well-
I think Branch and Joseph have honestly played pretty well. Like the back end has, but like in terms of corners,
Branch has actually been out. He's in practice.
Well,
and he's getting ready to come back this week.
Melifonu's
last week. He got a
yeah, Melifonu's back, right?
Injured reserve.
Really? God damn it, dude! This is my favorite Lions player, and he's yet to play this season.
Yeah,
Oh,
Arnold's got to learn to not like. I think half of their penalty flags were all on Arnold last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever. The last time they played.
Yeah.
He can learn to not-
Milifon was not eligible to return until week 9.
God damn it! I'm not watching Lions games until then.
You will.
I definitely.
I
will.
think
That was. I say that about Michigan State every year, and I watch every down.
Well, I know, dude. Melifonu is he was one of my favorite players last year. Like
he came alive,
dude. Like he's a good safety, man. I mean, he's a good he can play in the box, he can play deep. Like he's versatile.
yeah, he's really good.
I also have a huge man crush on Kyle Hamilton too, so that's probably why. But he's not the same player, but he's like in terms of skill set comparable.
I know stats aren't everything, but if you want to see a funny comparison, look at Kirby Joseph's stats to Kyle Hamilton's stats last year. Kirby actually had a better season statistically.
Yeah.
Or it
was are you talking just game statistics or efficiency statistics?
Game statistics.
Okay.
Like it's sacks to picks to passes deflected to everything like you put on a stat sheet. Damn near the same stat line between the two.
I mean, bro, can we just talk about how this Cowboys offense was barely able to beat the Giants? Which, I mean, I know the Giants do have a good defense, but, dude, the Giants ain't putting much pressure on you offensively. And then now the Steelers. Yeah, you just escaped the Steelers.
The Steelers don't have an offense very much either. Like, they won on defensive touchdowns the first 2 weeks, and haven't been getting them, so
it would make sense. They do have the same colors as Iowa, so.
Iowa stole the jerseys from the Steelers.
Yeah, well, now the Steelers are going to steal the Iowa. They're gonna steal the identity of Iowa.
Got permission to, but
I'll be interested to see who they put on CeeDee Lamb. Is it going to be Carlton Davis or is it going to be Arnold?
Davis or probably Branch if they put CeeDee in the slot.
Is Branch, but I guess if CeeDee's in the slot, you probably slide Branch down there. But
Branch has been more of a traditional safety this year than
but I think
Robertson in the nickel.
If there is a if there is an elite receiver, I feel it won't be 100% Brian Branch is going to play nickel corner, but I think they'll try to maybe they'll go more one high looks and try to put Branch they'll roll him down into the slot that happens too. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think if the number, I think we'll see it especially with when we play the Vikings. When someone's got to cover both those two receivers.
No, they better play too high against the Vikings, bro. I know Jay Jettas is great, but they also have Naylor and Addison as well as pass catching options too.
I'm just saying you're probably going to see Branch into the nickel more so than not to cover.
Hey, if you want to put Joseph and Melifonu back there and put Branch at nickel again, that honestly is not a bad look either. So.
That's what I'm thinking. Just slide Branch down so you have a better corner option.
Yeah, we also haven't seen all the safeties healthy at once this season too.
No.
So we don't know if that's honestly their game plan with Robertson in the nickel, or if it's going to be some sort of rotation or whatever.
I mean, we're seeing Ennis Rakestraw's also got some nickel in practice too.
I'm not a big Rakestraw guy.
But it's an option.
Pick. Yeah, that's true. You could also, I mean, players develop like crazy in the NFL, and they also fall off. So Jeff Okuda,
he had 4 weeks his last year in the Lions where he 0 yards to his opposing number one.
Yeah, that's true.
Jay Jetta's 22 yards while being locked.
Well, with a lot of over the safety
help, but
a lot of safety help.
Whatever you need to do, man.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. With that being said, that's going to send us home here in the hour and 24th minute.
Jesus.
What I want to say is make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Follow us on all our social medias. Follow us on all our personal social medias. And that's really it. I don't got too much else to say. You guys got anything to close out the show with?
I'm good.
No, just hey, Saturday, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
See who plays the Yankees. Game 5, Tarek Skubal on the mound. Then catch us back next week for the recap show.
All right.
All right. Have a great weekend, guys.
Later.